slap the button. Or slap it on someone else's channel, that's fine too. Slap it somewhere. You know what? Let's go ahead and just slap up the person who's giving out the game right now, because guess what? We've got Faizu. Faizu, it's been so long. Aw. Faizu, come chat. Yeah, I'm not gonna slap the person. Faizu, are you gonna come talk? Or is it? Oh my gosh. Joey Gatorman, thank you for the sub. Okay, apparently Faizu is, I don't know, busy like whapping some dangly thing around. Cats. Am I right? Oh, I am right. Aw, I love the Faizu emote. It's so good. I'm not sure if I like the one where it sticks the finger in Faizu's mouth. I kind of like that one. It's good. You know what? Just so everybody knows, if you are watching, this match coming up is what we call Recurring Nightmares, which means this is a game that we have for sure had in Kusogr4nde before. And here we are, Faizu.
Hello, hello.
Is it your birthday?
It's not my birthday today. This is my birth month, though.
Oh, it's your birth month. A whole year of being born. A whole month of being born. Oh, you're just born all the time.
It's, yeah, pretty much.
It sounds kind of gross.
I don't know, that's kind of a meme in another streamer's server. Every single day is her birthday. So we always wish her a happy birthday.
Aw, well, good. It is your birthday month. So you know what? Let's go ahead. This is a game that I believe you gave out before. When was it? Was it this year?
No, that was Kusogr4nde that I handed out this particular horror. And horror is a really appropriate word, I think.
Yeah, you know what? We didn't have any Halloween games. I'm so sad.
We didn't.
Yeah,
well,
but
it's okay. It's okay, because I always think, because you get a lot of games like released on Halloween and so on, spooky games. So I always think that the first half of November is actually just Halloween 2.
Ooh, I like that theory. Okay, so what do we have?
Well, I think I should welcome you all to Fright Night.
Ah! If you love being scared, it'll be the game of your life. Oh, I love being scared.
So do I, but this game never actually managed it. I mean, I'm kind of scared of making certain people play it, because the last... there may have been threats against my person after this was handed out.
Okay, let me just say that I love this game, and I'm absolutely surprised you got threats.
I mean, that's kind of a thing in itself, though, isn't it? If you love this game, then...
Yeah, in general.
I will point out, this isn't really a scary game. It tries to do scary sound effects. And it does have some slight pixelated nudity, so, you know, no children should be watching this, but it's really not. The title screen, not the title screen, the box art. The box art is the scariest thing about it.
Pretty much. Wow, Faizu, are you calling me weak? What if I'm terrified of this game?
Well, I can understand people who have to play this game being terrified of this game.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I don't know, like, everything about it, it's, ooh, there are ghosts, and for some reason, the most cliche spooky music ever. It's beautiful.
It really is. The music is, it's almost like sort of cliched organ music, except rendered through horrible Amiga sound chips.
Which is the best thing in existence. What?
Indeed.
It works. Works for me.
Oh, I love it. Unironically, I quite like this game as well. Although I can understand that playing this in a competitive setting, it's going to be a lot more stressful and difficult.
yeah, they might not necessarily like it too much, but you know what? Too bad. Some of the features of this game include one life, no continues, and how many iframes do they get?
None.
Oh,
This,
okay.
this game
yeah.
doesn't believe in iframes. If an enemy walks into you, you are taking damage the entire time it's in contact with you.
Yeah, I think it makes for a perfect game this far into the tournament. Honestly, I can't think of any other game that's like Fright Night. It's just not something that exists, you know?
It's quite unique. One of the things I love about Fright Night in particular is that it's one of the few movie-based games I can think of where you actively play as the villain of the movie. You are the vampire. You have to go around and drink the blood of the innocents and then return to your coffin. As opposed to being, the people trying to sneak into the vampire's house and kill the vampire, which is what you would expect from a movie-based game of the period.
It's true. I'm thinking even Commodore 64 games tended to be that way. If you had Friday the 13th, it was just trying to escape and not die and end up killing Jason,
Yep.
which that's not fun.
I love Catus's idea in chat. I would play that game.
A Home Alone game where you're the wet bandits. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That would get really frustrating really quickly.
That would be
stupid.
I actually think that would kind of be a horror game. You'd have to be constantly on the lookout for traps.
Oh yeah.
Kessenchu, yes. This has been on Kusogr4nde before. This particular winner's bracket theme is recurring nightmares, which means it is a game that has previously appeared. This wasn't on Big Bad Gameathon, but this was in Kusogr4nde. Although, if anybody wants to speedrun this, feel free. I actually don't think it would be too bad to route out.
Probably not.
I'm cautious of saying anything too much right now, but I can go a bit more into why I think that once we've started the match.
Yeah, I am checking with the players just to make sure everything is set.
I'm just going to once again give a mild content warning because you are a vampire. There is some blood. There is really cliched horror furniture and stuff, and spooky noises, and some slight pixelated nudity. So it's not sexualized nudity, but it's there.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for the warning. Like,
I mean, the film
it's
itself,
like Grease. It's a lot tamer than the rest of Grease. I don't know. Grease had a lot of nudity.
Oh.
Like their statues. Hey, it looks like both are ready to roll, so everybody get all of your scariest emotes ever. Because they're gonna be scarier than the game.
Yeah, this game isn't scary.
Spam away! Oh, look at those ghosts. I'm doing the countdown right now. My face is not scary. Wow. Faizu, welcome to my life.
I'm slightly surprised that I didn't see any Faizus in there, considering I'm the horror who gave this out.
Ah!
And it begins.
Oh, I love this game.
I love the animation on the protagonist, Jerry Dandridge.
Jerry Dandridge, that's his name?
That's his name. I mean, the plot of the movie is that a guy moves in next door to a teenager and his family, and the teenager, who loves watching all the late night horror specials, thinks that his next door neighbor is a vampire, and so he calls up the host of the TV horror specials and so on. And yeah, it's kind of ridiculous and campy, and it's brilliant.
So perfect is what you're saying.
It's a really good 80s cheesy horror movie.
I'm going to be redoing the cropping, by the way, because this game is not fun with, like, trying to set up before the game actually starts.
I can understand that.
It's Amiga. Amiga doesn't make sense.
Amiga cropping and capturing can be a problem to begin with anyway.
You mean?
But yeah, their goal in this, they wake up at dusk and they have to go around the house and find the people, kill all of the people, and then return to their coffin.
That's rude.
That's the goal of the day. And you have 0 iframes, so anything that touches you will drain your health constantly while you're in contact with it.
Oh yeah, they're gonna quickly find out that is a problem.
Well, the people are breaking into their house to try and kill them. You know, vampire hunters and things like that.
Oh yeah. Oh geez, well that's why that wasn't working. Sorry, I'm working on getting everything, and I was hitting space instead of Alt. And I'm like, why is it not doing what I want you to do? Turns out it's because I'm dumb.
This is just a poor vampire who's living his best life in a coffin in his basement, and then all these people come in and start lobbing holy water and crosses at him. Yeah, he wasn't super sympathetic in the movie because he was still kind of going out luring people in to kill them, but
I mean, vampire life,
he did very much want to just sort of be left alone to live quietly. And
oh yeah.
But yeah, this is a truly beautiful game. It's also better than a lot of
Xandra survived Monday. That is pretty big. Moving on to Tuesday.
Indeed. Okami has made it partway through Tuesday already, but then died, and so it's back to Monday.
My gosh, the music, like, some of it is really atmospheric, and then some of it's just la da 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 da, like old folks at home.
Tuesday is where this game starts to get difficult, because it's where all of the things that actually hurt you appear.
Yeah, the grabby hands are pretty terrifying in this.
The ghosts are so much worse. Okay, so health bar, I'm seeing that question asked. You've got 3 meters on the bottom of the screen. The vampire face is your health bar. It will kind of scroll down all the way to reveal a sort of slightly rotten vampire face, and then it will scroll down all the way again to reveal a skull. That's both your health and your timer. It goes down whenever anything touches you, and periodically over time as well. The moon on the far left is also a timer. That's kind of just the stage timer before the sunrise and the level ends. And the icon in the middle is kind of a weird one.
Is it a third timer?
Oddly enough, no.
Ah, dang it.
If memory serves, that's the faith of the person who is in the room with you, or the nearest person.
Yeah.
And that indicates how much damage they will do to you with their projectiles. The problem is that dodging anything in this game is nigh impossible.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, good luck. His jump is a tiny little hop. Enemies are huge and have gigantic hitboxes. Everything moves really quickly. You're going to die, especially with 1 life and no continues.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see plenty of that.
And we've got another death. We're gonna see Monday a lot, but Monday is fairly easy.
Oh, everybody hates Mondays.
Jerry Dandridge appears to quite like them because it's the day of the week when the fewest people are trying to kill him.
Dun, dun,
yes,
dun, dun, dun.
As Dana mentions, I think a lot of this is going to come down to who figures out that it's really important to route your way through each stage.
Yeah. Both of them are really good players, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they figure out that the levels are pretty much the same every time that they play them.
Yep. Nope, the spawns are set, the levels are set. The house, for some reason, gets bigger every single day. But,
did he just burp? I think he burped.
Yes, he will occasionally burp after you reach something. I say each something, I mean each someone.
Do you think blood would give you that much gas, though?
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought it's particularly carbonated.
Very carbonated blood. It does have oxygen. Okay.
It does.
But that's okay. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just kind of thinking, like, are we, vampire soft drinks? Would you have like fully carbonated, like fizzy blood?
I'm sure vampires would have fizzy blood. I'm sure. Like, I can't think of any good reason not to. If I were a vampire, I'd want, like, fizzy blood. I want, like, organic blood. None of that antibiotic stuff. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, we're literally talking about vampires here, Liz Star. I understand you don't enjoy this discussion, but...
All right, no. Blood is in the medical sense, it is a topic that kind of freaks me out a little bit. But I do want to point out, didn't you take a vampire class at university for a semester?
I certainly did.
And what did you learn? And I just want to check, was this like, I'm sure I've asked this before, but was this kind of like, I'm not sure how it works in American universities, like a minor or something like that in vampire studies? Or what?
I was doing folklore.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was part... I actually took it as part of my master's, but I was focusing on literature. So, here's the deal. Old school vampires, basically when the vampires first started existing, they were a lot closer to zombies than the way that we see vampires now. But over 100 or 200 years, they changed into being those that suck your blood rather than just the undead,
I do remember some of that from years ago, looking up, I think it was Slavic folklore, where there were a lot of things to do with how people were buried and stuff like that to prevent them from rising as a vampire, and the sort of people who would rise as a vampire. There was a specific thing, I think it was to do with birth. Like the way you were born, or if there was a particular sign when you were born, they believed that when you died, you'd come back as a vampire, so they paid attention to this, and you would then be buried in a really special way.
I feel you're right about birth. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it might be like if you were a bastard child, that you may come back as a vampire. That would make sense to me.
It may have been something like that. I mean,
if you were born feet first instead of head first. I'm really trying to remember. The thing is, I'm
sure it was something like that. But yeah, you probably know more about this than me, because this was years ago and I just studied it because I'm weird. But
yeah, there's all the spooky nudity for everybody. You get a nudity. Welcome. I'm the Oprah of nudity today. Okay.
Progress in this game is tracked by how many days they complete. If they both make it to the same day, then it is whoever kills the most victims.
Correct.
And if they have the same number of victims, then it's whoever does it first.
So here are some ways, Faizu, to keep vampires from rising to the dead, or from at least leaving their coffin. So one thing that you can do is bury them with their feet towards the head of the casket rather than the normal way. I think that confuses them, but I'm not completely sure. You can also chop off their head and put it by their feet.
I remember that one.
Also put rice in their coffin, because before they can leave, they would have to count. There was the belief that essentially vampires were OCD, and that they would be forced to count before they could leave. And simply put, counting in the dark is hard. So, it was a good way to keep them in there.
You keep them occupied all night until they fall asleep again, and then they can't remember how much they've counted, and they have to start again the next day.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why the count exists, because they are obsessed with counting. Per old school folklore.
I actually didn't link those two things together. I knew that it was that vampires had a thing about counting with old school folklore, but I never thought of that when it came to the count from Sesame Street.
Yep.
It's one of those things, it's like when you listen to a song a lot when you're a child, and then like 20 years later you hear it again, and it's the first time you really listen to the lyrics, and suddenly it takes on a whole new meaning.
Oh yeah. I love it. Yeah, it wasn't until later that living people could become vampires, like significantly later in the history. Generally, it was after they died.
If memory serves, I may be getting this the wrong way around, but I seem to remember that it was, first of all, it was that the living people were enthralled by the vampire drinking their blood. Which then became kind of the hypnosis and charisma.
And it took a while to romanticize vampires.
Yeah.
I've got like books right behind me. I might have to rummage through them real quick.
I have books of folklore and all sorts of stuff around here, but unfortunately they're in the other room, and I don't think I can get away with running that far right now in the middle of a match.
Okay, give me 1 minute, and I'll see if I can find them. Okay, right back.
Bro has 55 seconds remaining. Okay, so it looks like Okami has died again. I've been too busy talking about Brosensha to pay a great deal of attention to who's in the lead at the moment, but the thing is we are only 13 minutes in, so that's not too much of a problem at this point. Because they die regularly, they will gradually get better and better as they start to learn the ways throughout the level and the best paths to take, the safest ways to go. So it doesn't matter too much in terms of paying attention right at this moment. It's going to be a bit later on when they get a lot better that things are going to get a lot closer. Brosensha only has 10 seconds left, everybody. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Brosensha! Brosensha's not back yet. You know what? I will very much laugh if Brosensha comes back and accidentally stops the timer because I'm talking about time. And I wouldn't put it past him. There are a few tricks and bits and pieces I learned about this game when I was playing it. One thing that I found quite useful, and it's something that they may or may not pick up on, because they're kind of in a hurry. I haven't seen anyone get past day 2 yet, but we'll see what happens. But one thing is that the hands, at least, will never spawn at the entrance to a room. One thing you can do fairly safely is enter a room and just stay right at the entrance and see what the threats are. The ghosts can hit you at the very edge of the room, but you'll see them approaching. Hey, it's Brosensha's back, and only you took 2 minutes and 5 seconds, bro.
I'm sorry, I got obsessed because I really wanted to find this. I was like, where is my book? But yeah, the vampire in Romania is essentially where it started.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know that even the popular vampires like Dracula kind of call back to Romania.
Oh, I love that there's this line, uh, because originally there were Strigel. Uh, they weren't really vampires,
Strigoi.
but were sometimes confused with vampires. They're spirits either of living witches, which these send out as a little light, or of dead witches who can find no resting place. These Strigel come together in uneven numbers, 7 or 9. They meet on rocky mountains and dance and say, Noop kuisnoop in kasaku ustoroi nu maduk, which says, Noop kuisnoop, I won't enter any house where there is garlic. And I think that's a dumb song. You want to sing about garlic, Faizu?
Not particularly, no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Okami just died again.
No, stop dying. You're already dead.
I was saying to chat before while you were gone that it's not hugely important right now. This is the point in time when they should just be kind of paying attention, figuring out their path through each of the levels. You know, it's towards the end of the match that we're going to really need to start paying attention to progress, because they're going to die a lot. They need to experiment and figure out the route through the levels.
Okay, gotcha.
I have a question, bro. Did you only cover Western vampires?
I think mostly we started with Western vampires. Yeah, I don't recall doing anything to the east of Europe. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, per this, in Romania, there were 3 main types of vampires. The first was what they called the reanimated corpse. They call it the dead vampire type. Essentially, you're zombie.
Okay.
Then, people destined to become vampires after death may be able in life to send out their souls and even their bodies to wander at crossroads with reanimated corpses. This type may be called the live vampire type.
I will say that. Hang on, does that mean I'm a vampire? Because it turns out I can send out my body.
Yeah.
I did that earlier today. I sent out my body to get a hot chocolate. And then my body drank it and then came back here.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, you might be a live vampire type.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it merges into the ordinary witch or wizard who can meet other witches or wizards either in the body or as a spirit. And then the third type of vampire is the Vakulak, which eats the sun and moon during eclipses. Yeah.
I know that vampire type. I recognize the word that you struggled to read out.
Yeah, I can't read Romanian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that
especially like 1600s Romania. That's not gonna work.
I wonder. I've got. Well, I don't know. You should send me a picture of this, because I've got a. I've got a few Romanian friends. I know several Romanian people here on the Isle of Man. As a matter of fact, one of them I think is online right now. So send me a picture and I'll see if I can get her to read that out.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, I'll have to do that. But I am seeing some things that they would do. Essentially, sometimes they would dig up a vampire, undress them, and put them in a bag. Clothes were put back into the coffin and sprinkled with holy water. The coffin put back into the grave, and the grave closed. A strong man carried the body to the forest. The heart was cut out, and the body cut up, and one piece after another burnt. Last of all, the heart was burnt, and those present came near so that smoke passed over them and protected them from evil. Here, as elsewhere, it is emphasized that the burning must be complete. If the smallest piece of bone remains unburnt, the vampire can grow up again from it. Ooh.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there were tests that they would do to determine whether any dead man was a vampire or not. So, 1. His household, his family, and his livestock, and possibly even the livestock of the whole village, die off rapidly.
Holy heck, Xandra has made it to Wednesday.
Oh, nice. That's today. This is what today looks like.
Hang on, does that mean Xandra, if she continues at this truly frightening pace is going to make it into the future.
I think so. I don't like the future. Stay in the present. Xandra, don't kill too many people. Stay in the present.
I believe Okami is still on Tuesday, but I'm kind of curious now. I'm watching Xandra and seeing that she is outlining, or she is doing some of the strats that I outlined in voice chats.
Oh
A
yeah.
little bit earlier. Again, while you were away, I think, such as soon as you enter a room, staying at the entrance of it, because the ghost hands cannot spawn there, and the other threats, like the ghosts themselves, you can see them coming.
Oh yeah.
So you can hop back out and look for a good pattern that you can avoid.
Yeah, I'm glad that Xandra has kind of figured that out. Keeping health is the most important thing while playing this.
Yes, because it drains not only over time, but it drains so absurdly quickly when anything touches you. I kind of mentally surmised it when I was playing this as you effectively have about 4 hits, because you've kind of got 2 health bars since it goes down twice, and most of the time it will knock off half of one of those health bars as soon as you touch something.
Yeah.
Just for the fun there. I'm checking something.
Well, some of the other tests to determine if a dead man is a vampire. Number 2, he comes back in the night and speaks with the family. I'm not sure how this is a test, but he may eat what he finds in dishes and knock things about, or he may help with the housework and cut wood. Female vampires also come back to their children. There was a Hungarian vampire which could not be kept away, even by the priest and holy water. Well, that sucks. Why do you even have a priest?
Actually, yes, that very much sucks. That is literally what that does.
Oh, yeah, because he sucks blood.
Yeah, it's clever.
Okay, number 3. The priest reads a service at the grave. If the evil which is occurring does not cease, it is a bad sign. Oh.
I hate it when evil witch is occurring.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if that's a test. Do a little prayer. If things still die, then it's bad. Yeah, thank you. 4. A hole about the size of a serpent may be found near the tombstone of the dead man. If so, it is a sign of a vampire, because vampires come out of graves by just such holes.
Okay.
Yeah, so there you go.
Sorry, how big was that hole again?
Size of a serpent. Snake hole.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
When we, you know what? No, I'm not. Carry on.
Let me see. People were asking what century this was from. I think it was the 1600s. That sounds about right. Okay. Next, even in the daytime, a white horse will not walk over the grave of a vampire, but stands still and snorts and neighs. So, go buy a white horse.
I was going to say, that sounds really weirdly specific.
Yeah.
Like, did people take a white horse, like, through a graveyard and just have it, walk across all of the graves and see which ones it stopped on?
I would. I mean, I mean, if I was worried about dying from vampires, sure.
I legitimately think that this could be, a lot of this could be turned into something fairly fascinating story-wise.
Yeah. Mind you, I love folklore, okay?
Have I ever told you about folklore over here? Do you know a great deal of Celtic folklore?
I don't.
Celtic folklore is mildly insane, but the Isle of Man in particular has some very specific folklore and folk stories. It gets really specific and weird and interesting. I will find some of it for you later, but I don't believe we have any vampires, unfortunately.
Ooh.
We just have fairies, and if you do know anything about Celtic fairies, they're jerks. Like, you know how
I can believe it. Oh.
You know how birds in video games are jerks? Fairies are worse.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Stupid fairies. So, okay, I'm actually reviewing this, and it looks like this was a paper written in 1927 that I'm going through about legends that were still told.
You don't say that about the fairies. There is a place on the Isle of Man called Fairy Bridge.
Whatever.
And
I'll punch a fairy in the face.
When you drive over Fairy Bridge, you have to say hello, little people.
Well,
you
that's
don't call
nice.
them fairies either, because that pisses them off either. And if you don't say this, that will really annoy them, and bad things will happen to you. My grandfather actually had a thing. He was taking some people to the airport, and when he drove over the bridge, he said hello to the little people, and everyone else burst out laughing. And
they died?
No, but about 30 feet down the road, the car broke down. 2 of the tires blew out.
But he said it was his car, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's dumb. The fairies should have targeted the people.
Yeah, well, they're jerks.
Yeah. Like if the car exploded and he flew to safety and landed in water and, put the fire out, that would be more accurate, but I don't think that was a real fairy.
Well, I don't know. I'm not quite up on the details and powers of fairy magic. They may have just thought, you know what, he's as much to blame for this as they are, because he clearly didn't explain how much we are worth respecting.
By the way, Xandra is going back to the beginning of the game. I think she realized that with the amount of health she had, it was just better to die.
Yep.
So
that's perfectly fair, especially in a game like this where you are restarting constantly anyway.
Okay. So I'm looking as well. Besides a white horse not walking over a grave, a gander will not walk over the grave of a vampire.
That surprises me, considering how much of jerks those animals are. I'd have thought that they would have been associated with them.
Yeah. Okay, on exhuming the corpse, if it is a vampire, it'll be found to be A, red in the face even for months and years after burial. B, with the face turned downwards. C, with the foot retracted and forced into a corner of the grave or coffin. I don't know what that means, but okay. D.
Do you think that with the face turned downwards, the reasoning behind that is that they will think that they're facing the lid, so they try to open it or break out, and they end up just digging themselves deeper into the earth?
I think this is one of the tests to see if it was a vampire. You open it and they're facing the wrong way.
Oh, sorry, I was...
but then there are other things to say that you should bury them the wrong way. I don't understand. It's weird.
In fairness, a lot of this was almost certainly oral tradition and oral law, which has likely been somewhat mixed up over the years, but...
yeah, a bit.
I find it fascinating regardless.
Same here. Oh, and also, if relations have died, the mouth will be red with blood. If it's only spoiled and ruined things at home and eaten what it could find, the mouth will be covered with maize meal. So, corn all over its mouth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I'm just trying to let you know that if you find a dead body and its mouth is covered in corn, it's possibly a vampire.
I blame Corndan. Do you think Corndan is a vampire?
Yeah. Especially as child. Like, corn child. Just going and ravaging the corn.
Child of the corn.
Yeah, child of the corn. It looks like we are half an hour into this. Xandra still appears to be in the lead, making it to Wednesday. I don't believe Okami has quite made it there, though.
I don't think so, but we will see what happens. 30 minutes is a long time in this game. I believe the long play of this game is about half an hour long, so I'm not expecting any of them to even remotely finish this. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit further. I can't remember how far people made it the last time. I'm fairly certain someone kind of went on a bit of a sprint and made it to Thursday, Friday, near the end.
Yeah, they got really far into it.
It wasn't a thing where they like carefully mapped it out and gradually made progression. I have... My memory is telling me that it was just a thing where they suddenly beat like 2 levels in really quick succession.
Uh-huh. So, I'm seeing here the ways that you become a vampire, per the Romanians. A man born with a caul will become a vampire within 6 weeks after his death.
That was mentioned in chat, and yeah, that's possibly also the thing I was talking about when I said about birth.
Yeah, I'm also seeing that vaguely, if you were bad and had done evil deeds, and more especially women who have had to do with the evil one and with spells and incantations. So if you do any witchy things, you might become a vampire. It is known that a man is a vampire if he does not eat garlic.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you sit down to dinner and you're wondering if your date across from you is a vampire, make sure you go to Olive Garden and get the most garlicky thing. Like, order for them, okay? Don't let them order for themselves. Tons of garlic.
What does that only apply to men? Like, if women don't eat garlic, does that not mean they're vampires?
It could possibly be either. Like, it's pretty vague.
Okay.
This is like writing in the early 1900s, so you know, they could have said man and meant anyone. Who knows? When a child dies before it's baptized, it becomes a vampire at 7 years of age, and the place where it was buried is unholy. So there's that. 7 years old.
I will at least say that 7-year-olds are basically terrible.
They basically are vampires, let's be honest. All of you 7-year-olds watching this stream, yeah, you're a vampire, you nerd. Oh, men who swear falsely for money become vampires 6 months after death. Okay. So
That's
essentially, if you swear that you'll pay them back and then you don't, you become a vampire.
Again,
Okay.
That's another really interesting and specific one, and I'm wondering how that one came about.
Yeah, that's a little bit odd.
With a lot of these, I'm really, really curious about the origins of how these specific things popped up.
Ooh, if a vampire casts its eye on a pregnant woman and she is not disenchanted, her child will be a vampire. I'm pretty sure that was just the head bones connected to the neck bone that I just heard on stream. What else? If a pregnant woman does not eat salt, her child will be a vampire.
Mazian, as pointed out, Brosentia actually studied vampires at college, so he's kind of an expert on this, and this is one of the rare occasions he gets a chance to really show us.
Okami is on
flex.
to Wednesday, if I'm not
Impressive.
mistaken.
That does indeed look like Wednesday.
See, I actually noticed before chat told me. Paizu, that doesn't happen very often. See, I could talk about folklore and kind of watch the stream at the same time.
They're because the map layouts, the house layout is different on every single day, because presumably while you're asleep during the day, you've got builders coming in and renovating the house and
Just
expanding
vampire
it.
things, you know? Vampire things.
I'm not going into that Castlevania thing of, the house is a creature of chaos and it does what it likes. No, I think that he's just got builders coming in to expand his house every single day. And they're working quickly. But, go on.
I've got more. Because when there are 7 children of the same sex, the 7th will have a little tail and be a vampire.
That one I've heard before, but I've also heard that in other ways as well. Just because 7 is considered to be a powerful number, so any kind of confluence of 7's like the 7th son of a 7th son.
Yeah, I mean, Orson Scott Card wrote some books about that as well.
Orson Scott Card wrote a lot of books that we shouldn't talk about.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that one's based off of Mormonism and Joseph Smith.
He made some good books as well, I will say this. But
I actually really liked those books when I was younger, and he never finished the series. And then he got old and grumpy. Ugh.
I like 2 of the Enders books.
Yeah. It's like, it's the bad thing, you know, when there are some really good books, and then like, the person eventually, I don't know. Never read about your heroes. How about that?
Yeah, it's unfortunate when that happens.
Yeah.
This has ruined numerous things for me. There are some people I can deal with it. It's not too bad. It doesn't spoil my enjoyment of their works, but there are others where I just cannot read. It just casts everything in a new light.
Yep. Oh, here. A dead man becomes a vampire if a cat jumps over him, if a man steps over him, or even if the shadow of a man falls over him. Faizu, you can literally turn dead people into cats.
That's amazing. Although it sounds like anyone can turn people into cats. All you have to do is just find a dead body, and if your shadow happens to fall across it, then, well, vampire.
Yeah, it's really easy to make a vampire, it looks like. Okay. Some Romanians think that if people are fated to be vampires, they will become one whether they wish it or not. Then during their lifetime, when they sleep, their souls come out of their mouth like a little fly. If during sleep the body is turned around so that the head is where the feet were before, the man dies.
Look, my soul was a lot bigger than a fly. I remember this. I saw it when I had it removed.
Oh, really? Okay, well, that's good. I just love this. Oh no.
Moths,
And there are ways
moths.
that if you are related to a vampire, you might become a vampire. So vampirism is possibly genetic.
Is it like reverse genetic as well though? Like if say your uncle passes and someone's shadow falls on him, so he's going to become a vampire. Does that mean that you may then wind up becoming a vampire?
Well, I mean, if you were
Retroactive,
a
not
brother
retroactive.
born on the same day of the year or month of the year as you, so if you had a brother, let's say my birthday's October 8th. If I had a brother born on November 8th, and he was a vampire, I could become a vampire. There's great danger of me becoming a vampire.
My.
Yeah.
Horrible fate has befallen you.
Or if it's the same month, if we're both born in October, then I could become a vampire. It's scary. There are just so many ways to become a vampire. I don't know how I'm going to stop it.
It sounds like at this point, pretty much everyone may as well just give up and become a vampire. But it's a good thing that they outlined so many ways of preventing people from becoming vampires as well.
Yeah. Oh, apparently some take milk. Some vampires don't suck blood. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that anymore.
I need you maybe not to go into that on stream, but I need to hear about this to make somebody else suffer later.
Okay.
Should we talk about the game a little bit? I know that you're still leafing through.
Sure. What do we have going on, Faizu?
We have a lot of death going on, but I'm just kind of flicking through the manual at the moment.
Ooh.
Do we want to hear the story?
Yes,
the story
please.
almost nothing to do with the plot of the movie itself.
Okay.
But, except for the very basic premise. You moved into this neighborhood because it was quiet and peaceful. Just what you needed since you sleep during the day. Now your neighbors have gotten together and are planning a surprise party for you. All this trouble just because of an unfortunate misunderstanding. After all, it's not as though the people whose blood you took are actually dead. They're just serving as new recruits in the legions of the undead, transformed into vampires like you. Your neighbors are not only planning to drive you out of the neighborhood, but to end your existence completely, and all because of your need for fresh blood. You'd think a neighborhood like this would allow a vampire to enjoy the peace of the undead. Now these nefarious do-gooders have invaded the sanctity of your own home, searching for your resting place. Each is intent on driving a stake through your heart. Well, there is one good thing. You don't have to wander far from home to satisfy your urgent lust for fresh blood. Simply avoid the crosses, garlic, holy water, and other obstacles, and feast on new victims in the privacy of your own home. Just beware of powerful vampire hunters with strong faith. They can certainly ruin your night.
Those vampire hunters.
This game was indeed based on a movie, yes. A movie which got a remake within the last 5 years or so, with David Tennant in it, and the remake is...
Is it good?
It can't decide whether to be campy or whether to take itself seriously, is the main problem that I have with it.
Okay.
I vastly prefer the original. It does have David Tennant in it, which kind of makes it worth watching.
Yeah, most of the time, like, if it has David Tennant, I'll risk it.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of horribly miscast in it, but that kind of works for him as well. It kind of works in favor of the movie because it's amusing and weird. But yeah, the one thing that the manual doesn't mention in that section at least. There we go. Yeah, the ghosts that attack you, the ghost hands and the ghosts that appear, those are your victims from previous days coming back to haunt you.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Which is why there are none on Monday, because you've only just moved into the neighborhood.
But there are already, like, dismembered limbs in your house. Like, you got up to something Sunday night, okay?
Well, you know, maybe everyone has little knickknacks that they keep.
You can't call someone's arm a knickknack, okay? Sandra, no!
Glad you haven't seen my bedside table.
Yeah, this, I like that he has pictures of skeletons in the background as well. Like, he really likes people to get the impression that, you know, something weird is going on in his house.
He is really rocking the kind of gothic aesthetic, although I think he's overdone it massively.
Possibly, yeah, possibly a little bit. I mean...
I've just realised, actually, that the manual contradicts itself.
Uh-oh.
Well, it says that the people you're killing aren't actually dying, they're just becoming servants of the undead, but then the ghosts...
Maybe they're rebelling.
In the house are your victims, so I guess that maybe you're killing the people who've invaded your house.
Okay, you kill them, they invade your house, they become your servants, but then they remember that you killed them, so they try to kill you back.
I guess. That seems like something I would do. If I were actually capable of dying, which I'm not. I've got to say, though, yeah, this decor does kind of scream vampire. Like, if you walked into a house in a quiet neighborhood and it looked like this...
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I might become a vampire if I accidentally moved into a place like this, you know?
Well, from the sounds of it, you might become a vampire if someone walks near you, judging by all the lore that we just went over.
You know, vampire immunity, they didn't have vaccines back then for vampirism. Everybody was catching it.
And Okami has survived
Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wow. That is huge. Okami is definitely in the lead. Seeing this light, little lady in white, sucker blood.
With 15 minutes to go, this is very much the point where progress is going to be made and things are going to get close.
Yeah, they definitely need one good push, and Okami is having that right now.
They're both doing really well. They both picked up on the bits and pieces, the tactics to play. Except Okami is still having really bad luck with attacking victims when there is a ghost hand right there and losing half of their health.
Yeah, just got to be a little patient.
But yeah, maybe. As Liz points out in chat, Okami has gotten very, very good at avoiding ghosts.
No! Okami, there's a ghost. She's totally corpse blocking.
Katus, I did see what you said earlier, and that is really, really mean. And I didn't know that about this game.
Uh-oh. So what was the really mean thing? Just for people who are watching in the future on YouTube.
The really, really mean thing is that, according to Katus, starting on Thursday, there can be 2 victims in a room, but only one will show up at a time, so you have to double-check each room.
Oh, no. Well, that's kind.
So go in there, kill someone, leave, and walk back in immediately, and there may be someone else.
Yeah, nobody... I don't know if either player will figure that out at this time. Okami especially is having a really good push through Thursday. You know, Xandra and Okami have been doing fantastic, but we're getting to the end of the tournament. Someone has to take a loss. And
I mean, they're both winners bracket at this point.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
That's the top. How many people are still in the winners bracket, including this match? Like
some,
16?
A handful. I
imagine Katus will probably take a break and say it now, but it's got to be like 16, something like that.
Something like that. I did link
Possibly
the
fewer.
Bracket, by the way, in chat. Challenge.com/Kusogr4nde is just the number 4. Is our bracket right now.
In round 3 there are 8, but one of those matches has been done already.
Yeah, so 7 left in winners bracket.
So effectively then these, yeah.
Okami is dead. This is Xandra's biggest chance to get a good push.
These 2 are part of the top 8 of the 170-ish people we had.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And their reward is being welcomed to Fright Night.
I feel welcomed already.
And yes, this may well be Xandra's last run. If Xandra dies, like, right now...
I think there would be another chance.
Yeah, I think so as well, but if we get another 5 minutes or so in, and then there is death, that might be the limit.
Dun, 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 dun,
I can't
dun,
get over
dun,
the
dun,
little
dun,
burp sound that's made.
It's ridiculous. Like,
it's like the game kind of tries its best to be, I'm not going to say creepy, but it goes really over the top with the creepiness.
Oh yeah.
Which, I guess this would probably be scary if I was 7, maybe. At the time. Possibly not so much now. There were a lot of games that scared me when I was 7. Whew. Some of which may soon appear in Kusogr4nde. But yeah, then there's just the burp, which is just completely contrary to all the rest of the creepiness.
Oh my gosh. So, there's this story that I found about one vampire. I guess he was trying to get a girl. But the girl kind of was a little bit creeped out because she found out that he could very possibly be a vampire. So her companions at the gathering awaited her return. They looked and waited until they saw that she was not coming back. She ran away. Where could she be? You must fetch her wherever she is, roared the vampire with bloodshot eyes and hair standing on end. As the girl could not be found, The vampire killed all the rest of the merrymakers. He sucked their blood, he threw their flesh and bones under the bed, cut off their lips, and put their heads in a row in the window. They looked as if they were laughing. He strung up their intestines on a nail, saying they were strings of beads, and then he fled away.
Rosentia,
What?
do you remember when this was like a PG stream?
Did you see all the nudity and all the guts already in this game? Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm upsetting people with words rather than images.
Yeah, it sounds like in that story, a lot of people lost their head. They perhaps got a bit disheartened.
I don't know if he did anything with their hearts. He did stuff with their intestines.
Well, I mean, you did mention that lots and lots of things were shoved under the bed, so I'm assuming that hearts were probably involved somewhere.
Yeah. Probably. Let's see.
Oh, I've also read worse as a kid. I had a book of, and I still have it. I found it recently. It was, it's this huge, beautiful hardback book, and it's full color, loads of pictures. And it's classic fairy tales from around the world. And I do mean classic, which means that they are horrible and everybody dies. And it's the most beautiful book, and I got this when I was like 10, and it's just full of the most horrible stuff and some of the most horrible images as well. Like some of the art in there, especially, I think it's got a variation of kind of the Bluebeard tale in there.
Okay.
You know, the Bluebeard tale where he marries a woman and tells her not to go into this one particular room, and then she inevitably goes into the room and finds all of his
Xandra,
victims.
on to Thursday.
Impressive.
Yeah.
So this could be the deciding factor. Okami has just died and probably doesn't have enough time. Maybe.
I would say always give a push, give it a shot, try. You might not be able to catch up, but hopefully you can.
I would say that with 7.5 minutes left, maybe.
Xandra is not currently in the lead. Okami is. But Okami is pausing and chatting in Discord right now. So we'll have to see what Okami decides to do. Taking a little bit of a pause though could be bad. Yeah, Xandra is very close.
I suspect Okami is going to say not enough time.
He's saying that he's getting a headache, so he's going to play a different game.
That's up to you.
I mean,
there is Leslie. There is no tie. If they both bite the same number of people on Thursday, it will come down to the person who did it first, which in this instance would be Okami.
Yeah, this could possibly end in a tie.
There is no tie. I just went over that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, tie as in somebody. There's a tiebreaker.
Yes,
there we go. Xandra just ate somebody.
I think Okami is just going to give us a bit of audio.
I believe you're correct. Scary. It looks like Xandra has gotten another bite. That's a lot of bites. A lot of delicious humans.
That's another one just there.
Yum. Yeah, it looks like we're probably going to have to go back and check Okami if Xandra doesn't get any more, but honestly, she's got a good push during this. Not only that, but she's really good at avoiding the hands, and I think that is probably what made the difference here.
Yeah, I think Okami got, I don't know whether I'd say unlucky or whether it was just pushing. In terms of a couple of times I noticed on the Thursday attempt biting someone with a hand standing on them, and that just took off half of the health.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Another bite for Xandra.
Yum.
Xandra is getting these bites so quickly, it's completely refilling her health to full because she's taking so little damage on the path as well.
Oh, yeah. Arr. There's so many people in the house today. Why are there just so many people?
I don't know. And some of them are the same people that were there the other day, I believe.
Well, I mean, the dead people are the ones who were here the other day, yeah.
Xandra is running low on time and health.
Yeah, I think that the big twist of having people in the same room and having to revisit areas is throwing her off a little bit.
I think so.
I mean, not a huge surprise.
That's assuming Kate is correct about that, but I wouldn't fault
Xandra
Kate.
wants to sleep. So. Oh my gosh, it's almost death time for Xandra. No.
I suspect Xandra is probably thinking she's missed a room somewhere, and it's just that, nope, there's duplicates.
Because, you know, video games are fair and well-balanced sometimes.
Xandra really needs to find someone. No.
Nope! Starved to death. You know, there's no chance either player is going to get it back. I think we are going to call that. That is time for this match. Oh my gosh. I absolutely had a blast.
That was a nail biter. I know you had a blast. You got an excuse to show off your extensive knowledge of vampires. I love this game. I know we didn't talk about the game a great deal, but that's partly because it's kind of self-explanatory barring the UI. It's weirdly fun to play. It's slightly cruel, but it's just fun.
Yeah, no, Okami, don't play Orb 3. I'm leaving. I am not staying there. Okay, that's it. Muting you as well. Wow.
Chat, did you just like remove Okami's theme from?
No, I just left.
Like, are people in chat still seeing that? Oh my god, the reverse hey bro in chat. The reverse hey bro in chat, which just reads yeah orb.
Yeah orb. Yeah orb, everybody. Huzzah. Yeah to the orb, to the orb, to the yeah. Oh no, Okami is saying things are blurry at this point. Hello there, Okami. Welcome.
I forgot to unmute my mic. You know, for recurring nightmares, this was pretty apt.
Oh no, were you not a fan of the game?
I mean, well, it's like a horror game, so I'd say that's fitting for recurring nightmares. But yeah, I was starting to get a little bit of a headache towards the end there. Everything just started looking the same.
Ooh,
this basically just seemed like a it just started to feel like a maze after a while.
Yeah, I can agree. The tricky thing about Thursday is that some of the rooms actually have somebody else when you leave and re-enter. I'll tell Xandra that as well. So yeah, the rules change a little bit at that point. Neither of you were able to find any of the rooms that had two people in, and you just had to leave and come back.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah, that's kind of a mean trick that the game pulls at that point.
Yeah. But the thing is, both of you... Okay, it looks like Xandra is here. Hello there, Xandra.
Hello. Hi, what happened?
I'm a vampire now.
Well, it looks like you won, so
what?
Yeah, congrats.
Yes.
Thank you, really?
You both made it to Thursday. Honestly, Xandra, I was thinking that you might not be able to make the victory, like, because you lost and then you started over again, but the last push to get 10 kills on Thursday sealed the deal there. Now
it was right down to the wire.
Oh yeah.
That final attempt was the one that clinched it.
I'm so glad. Okay, so yeah, that final Thursday. What a concept.
Yeah, the final Thursday is what landed you the victory here. So, yeah, it looks like Okami wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of this game. What are your opinions?
Don't assume things, Percentia.
I mean, I changed screen as soon as you changed to Orb 3D. I was not having any of that.
Bracentia is not the biggest fan of Orb 3D.
Yeah, if you didn't know.
Well, good. We're even now.
Yeah, so Xandra,
So-
what are your thoughts about the game?
Okay, graphics are hecking like impressive for this game. I was like surprised. Gameplay a little bit lacking. Seems very straightforward.
Okay.
Kind of rough. Like things get super hard, super quick, and it seems like there is one way to deal with every enemy. Like the manual talks it up. Like, oh, you have to pay attention to each character's like faith level, which determines like how powerful they are and like whichever weapons they will use. Like I just hop once and then eat their face.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
like-
it? Is that really just?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it has a lot of potential is what I'd say. And honestly, you know, watching it, I always love this. The music is dorky and the movement, he looks dorky. Like I personally have a blast with this game.
Yeah, he's very like stereotypical vampire in a
His
hoodie.
his hop animation is fantastic.
You know, I dig some like hopping vampires. Heck yeah, any day of the week.
Oh,
Oh,
me
yeah.
too. I just don't think that he's meant to be a hopping vampire.
Oh,
That's the problem.
Yeah,
That is fair. Oh, can I just say something about that?
sure.
Those hecking stare ghosts.
Yeah.
Good gosh.
Yeah.
Those were the thing that took the most of my life. Like, the hands were at least tolerable. Those ghosts were the worst.
Ugh.
You had to be patient with those ghosts.
Oh,
Otherwise, you were gonna
Yeah.
take a lot of damage.
Like even though
Yeah.
you had 2 timers on screen, still it's worth taking your time with the ghosts.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was at some point at the start I realized like I just peek into a room and then turn away if I don't like the pattern. And it's like, oh no,
Yeah.
it's the swooper comes in very low and then actually will hit me. Never mind. But eventually I learned, no, you want the swoop because you can easily hop over the swoop and then hopefully get out of the room before they spawn again. And
That's
yeah.
that's pretty much 50% of the game is figuring out to peek into a room, see the patterns, and then leave the room and walk back in again if it's one you don't like. And kind of the other 50% is sort of mapping out your route through each day,
Yeah.
so that you
Yeah.
get the victims and keep your health up and don't run out of time.
It took me forever to route the second stage because
Oh yeah.
I know at one point I thought I had everyone, and then oops, nope, there was like 1 or 2 people left, and then I had to go find them and died on the way. Yet,
Yeah.
oddly
Yep,
enough, the third stage didn't give me much of a problem.
Yeah, that Thursday was the one where I ended up just like dying of thirst because I just couldn't find out where the heck the last person was.
Xandra, as it turns out, there were more than one person. There were multiple people left. The thing is, the game throws a curveball
Thursday.
at you because Thursday there can be multiple people in a room. You have to enter and go or leave and then go back in
What?
to get the next person.
No!
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
I didn't read through the full manual. Did it say that in the manual you provided?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, good.
That's rude.
That's that's kind of an evil trick that the game pulls.
Yeah.
Well-
Oh, yeah. It's the of any evil trick it could pull at this point. Like, okay.
Oh, this
yeah.
this game is definitely going in that game pile.
Oh no! I love it. Seriously though, Xandra, congratulations. You're moving on to the next round in the winner's bracket. There are only 2 more left. The
What?
next one is
Dang.
going to be the gauntlet. So get
Ooh.
pretty dang excited for us finding everything that we can throw at you, because we're going to throw a lot.
Yes. I'm
Okami,
excited.
you're going to the losers bracket, but honestly, you've already done so well. I've got a pretty good feeling that you can hold strong in there.
I'm just hoping. Apparently, my weakness is don't fight a Kuso champion in these brackets.
Oh, yeah, that can be
What happened?
My last two my first and second opponents in brackets were Andy and Dragon Dark, respectively. So,
Oh.
And then he beat both of them.
hey, at least I'm shaking up this bracket a lot.
Yeah.
I can take comfort in that.
You've made it to the top 8 in the winners bracket, which is incredible in and of itself.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're not out yet either. There's more suffering in store for you.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, we won't let you go quite yet. So I think that's gonna be it for tonight for Kusogr4nde. Okami, Zandra, anything else?
Just thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. This is great. This is a lot of fun. I get to rediscover a bunch of old games I certainly would have never played otherwise. So thank you so much.
Oh, baby. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad.
I'm glad you are air quotes enjoying this.
I'm glad I now need a drink.
Hydration is important.
Yeah, stay hydrated. With-
Yeah, I'm regretting not filling up my water bottle for King Fu, and now I'm regretting not filling it up for this.
Oof.
You know, okay, I think that this has been a fun match. We ended up talking a lot about vampire folklore. I had a blast.
Ooh, nice.
So,
Yes,
yeah,
bro,
it was...
bro studied vampires in college, so he was
Nice.
getting all the juicy details.
Nice.
Yes.
Because otherwise, yes,
expert-
college does suck a bit. So it's great to check out some other stuff.
Expert vampirologist Rosentia here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was using my vampire book to talk a little bit about vampires. So, yeah, it was fun.
That's not an exaggeration.
Before
he
we-
actually wandered off to find a book so that he could read bits to us about vampire folklore. But sorry, bro, carry on.
Yeah,
Oh, I have to watch the VOD. Dang, this is great.
it was fun. You'll hear a lot of gruesome details. Yeah,
My
and-
favorite.
yeah, it's good stuff. So before we take off, I want to thank Essentia for PB Doughboy, Zeal Fox, and Prism Ranger for resubscribing. Thank you for all those who have followed. For those who have dropped bits, you're helping keep the stream afloat and helping me get prizes for the people as they're eliminated from the tournament. So yeah, no matter where you go in this, you're going to get something. Thank you so much. I think that at this point, I am feeling pretty dang tired. I plan on streaming tomorrow. So let's go ahead and do a raid. We're going to raid Macaw. Is there a good message? Good raid message?
I think a raid message was mentioned in chat at one point, but that was a while ago. Who knows?
I'm thinking about stair ghosts.
A good line about burning. People want I'm the Oprah of nudity today.
A good line about burning. Rosentia, what are you doing in your free time?
The burning must be complete. Ooh, I like that. And it's not about nudity. So let's go ahead and tell Macaw about burning and how it must be complete.
Excellent.
If you have any fire emotes, you can go ahead and take those along as well. I'll see you all tomorrow for my own personal stream and Saturday and Sunday for more Kusogr4nde. Thank you and take care.
Thank
Take
you.
care, bye.
Bye.
Bye.